What really happened that night at Jungkook's house? Why did Taehyung sneak in, and why did Jungkook's mother leak the footage to the public? Is this just a memory or a hidden message that even Jungkook himself wasn't ready to know? It looked like an ordinary night. The city of Seoul was asleep, the street lights were dim, and the sky hung the stars like they didn't want to disturb the silence. But behind the silence, who would have thought that an incident that was barely touched by the public happened right in one of the most private houses guarded by the army, Jungkook's private house? Then why did Taehyung's name suddenly come to the surface? Why did Jungkook's mother leak the CCTV footage? What is the motive of all this? And most surprisingly, what was Taehyung actually doing inside the house alone? This news came not from the agency's statement, nor from the official media. Leaked CCTV footage circulating shows the figure of a man wearing a black hoodie, his face covered with a mask, entering the house with a digital code that he apparently knows without difficulty. The time on the screen is 2:47 a.m. And what left many people speechless was how the figure went straight to Jungkook's room, standing for a long time at his door, then turn around and do something that no one expected. Does this include a violation of privacy? Or is it precisely this form of emotional intimacy that has been hidden from the public eye as the public began to wonder who the person in the footage really was? Jungkook's mother, who has been known to protect her son from the media spotlight, appeared at a closed-door forum. He said one sentence that then set fire to the virtual world. "It's Taehyung, and I can't keep it to myself anymore." Why is it that a famous mother is so quiet about leaking footage that can open up old wounds or arouse fans' false hopes? Is this a form of honesty? Or is it just a message that something bigger is going on behind the scenes? After the tape was released, it became clear that Taehyung wasn't just going in and out. He sat for a long time in the living room, staring at the wall with Jungkook's childhood portrait on it. Then he took something out of his pocket, a letter. The letter was placed behind a photo frame of Jungkook's family. A letter that, until now, is unknown in its content. But the question is, why didn't Taehyung tell Jungkook directly? Why was the letter hidden? And why does Jungkook's mother know exactly where he is? Jungkook's mother, in a limited interview with people close to her, said, "I know the letter is not for me, but I read it because I know if Jungkook finds it in his current state of heart, he probably won't be strong." The words shook. Army around the world wondered, what is the content of the letter? What does Taehyung write that is so emotional that a mother feels the need to protect her son from reading it? Other leaks suggest that the night was the anniversary of the death of someone who once meant so much to Taehyung and Jungkook, someone whose story has never been officially revealed. Some fans speculated that the figure was an important figure in their trainee days, perhaps a coach or an old friend. But not a few are convinced that it has to do with something more personal, most likely with someone from their own family. Then why Jungkook's house? Why did Taehyung choose that place, not his own house, to vent his emotions? One piece of footage shows Taehyung walking into the kitchen, opening the refrigerator, and grabbing a bottle of water that looks very familiar, Jungkook's favorite drink since childhood. He looked at the bottle, then smiled slightly, as if remembering something that only he and Jungkook understood. That scene made a lot of ARMY cry, because it looked like someone who longed for a home that wasn't his, but still kept a part of his soul there. Is it a sign that Jungkook's house is the place where their memories are strongest? Is Taehyung harboring a longing that he can't convey in words? Another surprising fact came from the other side of the Jungkook family. A distant relative who knew them since before their debut said that Taehyung often came to Jungkook's house when both were trainees, even sleeping on the couch or playing games all night. Those moments are thought to have passed, but that night through CCTV footage it looks as if time stopped for a moment, and Taehyung tries to relive that time, alone. The most slicing was when the camera captured the moment Taehyung stood in front of the small piano in the living room. He put his finger on one key, then pressed a note, C. Just one. But the expression on his face after that was blank, as if the tone reminded him of something he couldn't forget. Was the tune part of a song they made together? A song that was never released? The song that tells their story? After this incident spread, fans were divided. Some felt Taehyung was violating too much privacy. Some even feel that this is the deepest form of love that they never express verbally. But one thing is certain, this incident leaves big questions unanswered. Why is Jungkook's mother leaking the tape now? Is there something he's afraid of? something the public should know before it's too late. Some netizens speculated that the letter Taehyung left behind might contain honesty, perhaps a confession, an apology, or even a goodbye. But separation from what? From friendship? From memories? Or from something they never admitted? The next day, Jungkook is seen leaving the house with a blank expression. He did not comment, did not make a live, did not upload anything. But the camera's spotlight captured that he was grasping something tightly in his hand, a picture frame. Did he find the letter? Has he read it? As of now, there is no official confirmation from HYB. Not from Taehyung. Not from Jungkook. Not even from security. But the public was already burned by mixed emotions. Emotion, anger, confusion, even fear, afraid that this is the beginning of the end, or the beginning of a confession, because that night, under the dim lights of the living room, the footage shows one last act of Taehyung before leaving the house. He looks directly at the CCTV camera, smiles faintly, and whispers something that only lip-reading technology can capture. 3 words. 3 syllables. And to this day, the army is still trying to decipher its intentions. Oh, you know what he said, Dan. Would you accept it if it wasn't just a memory? Are you ready to know the 3 words Taehyung whispered to the camera before he left that night? The 3 words that until now have made fans argue, reanalyze every frame of the recording, to compare it to BTS's old moments? Because according to the analysis of some fan bases who have the ability to read lips, the words seem to be, "I'm back again." But back from where? Or for who? A theory emerged. Some say this is Taehyung's gesture to Jungkook, that he is returning to the house they used to call second home. But others say it's a message to the past, for a time that will not come back again. And more surprisingly, some call this could be a message for someone who is left, emotionally or even physically. "I'm back again." A sentence that can mean anything, but spoken by Taehyung at Jungkook's house, in the middle of the night, with a tired face and sad eyes. It feels like it holds too many emotions to ignore. The next day, the atmosphere around Jungkook's house changes drastically. Journalists began to appear. The fans came hoping to get a little clarity. But the most striking thing was the arrival of one person, Park Jimin. Jimin came not as usual. He did not smile, did not wave his hands. He just walked quickly, wearing a mask and hat, and entered Jungkook's house without a word. Why did Jim come? Did he know about the letter? Or did he come to help? Some witnesses said that when Jimin came out of the house about 2 hours later, his eyes looked red. "He's down," said nothing. But the camera managed to capture one brief moment. Jimin hugged Jungkook's mother tightly, very tightly, as if begging for forgiveness or thank you. What exactly happened inside that house? Does Jimin know something that even the army doesn't know? And if it's true Jimin read the letter, why didn't he give any clarification? Why does everything feel so closed? But instead it is opened in the most emotional way possible, through CCTV footage, through tears, through the whisper of 3 words. While the world is still searching for answers, one thing is certain. The relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung has never been as simple as it seems. They are 2 souls who grew up together, through tremendous pressure, through love that is difficult to translate, and through memories that are never finished. Some fans found other clues from the past. One fan, known as BTS's Moment Archiver, uploaded an old clip from 2016, a video in which Taehyung and Jungkook talk about the place where they feel most at peace. Without hesitation, Taehyung replied, "Jungkook's house. There I can sleep without nightmares." That phrase used to be considered funny, even adorable. But after the CCTV footage was leaked, everything felt different. Did Taehyung come back that night because he couldn't sleep anymore? Some even said that Taehyung was going through a difficult time emotionally. An anonymous source from HYB staff said that lately Taehyung often looks moody, aloof, and refuses some photo shoots. He once even canceled a live show, saying, "I'm sorry. I just want to be quiet today." Could it have something to do with the night he broke into Jungkook's house? Does the letter actually contain the last message? Or is it a confession of something he's been hiding? The public began to get nervous. Accounts of the theory sprang up. Many began to discuss Taehyung and Jungkook's solo songs, looking for Larry. The night, which at first seemed ordinary, turned out to hold the deepest messages that may never be said directly in front of the camera. But now the public, especially the army, has become witnesses of something the outside world should never have seen, a wound that had been hidden, slowly opened by a camera recording, a sad smile, and 3 words that seemed to challenge time. I'm back again. But is it true that Taehyung came back to stay? Or, as many feared, he returned to say goodbye, in a way Jungkook will never forget. Just a few days after the footage went viral, the mood began to change. Not only on social media, but also in BTS itself. Jungkook stopped his social media activities. He disabled the comment field, removed the highlight story, and even no longer opened the live broadcast as usual. But the most striking thing was the change in his expression. In a candid photo taken by fans as he left for the HYBE building, Jungkook appeared to be wearing a leather bracelet that he used to wear when he was often seen with Taehyung. Is it a sign that old memories are coming back? Is Jungkook secretly relaying a message? Meanwhile, fans quickly discovered one surprising fact: the emotional link that had been hidden in the music for so long. In a radio interview last year, Jungkook said he had written a song that was too honest and kept it to himself. The song, according to his confession, was written when he lost someone he respected very much. But now, after this incident surfaced, fans began to wonder, is the song about Taehyung? At the same time, Taehyung is seen going to a remote location outside the city, not for filming, not for vacation. The location is an old villa owned by Jungkook's grandfather, which reportedly was the place where the two of them spent time when they had not yet debuted. A source said that Taehyung only stayed there overnight, didn't talk to anyone, and left when the sun hadn't fully risen yet. What was Taehyung really looking for in that place? Memories? Answer? Or a silence that could give him the strength to let go? Shortly after, for the first time in a week, Jungkook appeared in public. Not to perform, not for promotion, but to attend a private meeting at HYBE with the other members. But what made netizens react immediately was how he hugged his mother tightly before getting into the CAR. But I end that hug. There was something so strong. Something that does not need to be explained in words. Maybe it's a thank you hug. Maybe it's an apology. Or maybe it was a form of acceptance, that the mother had opened something that she had not dared to see for herself. And finally, the awaited day came. Jungkook posted a story. Without words. Just a photo. A half-open letter. At the ends, clearly visible handwriting. You never know how much I miss this place. But not because of the walls. Because of you. The story lasted only a few minutes before it was deleted. But it was enough for millions of ARMY to cry, immortalize it, and feel as if they had just witnessed the end of a chapter that had been hidden for so long. A few days later, Jimin again appeared in the spotlight. This time, not with a wistful expression. He appeared agitated, even nervous, in a brief interview after rehearsals for his solo concert. When asked about rumors of a relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook, Jimin simply said, "They are like the sky and the sea. Separated by horizons, but reflecting each other." Is it a recognition that they were never really together? Or the statement that the two have gone through too much to be able to get back to the way they were? The public is made helpless by so many possibilities. But one thing is undeniable. The letter is real. The memories are real. The footage is real. And open wounds are also real. The next night, the fans were back in an uproar. Taehyung finally made his first upload since the tape went viral. In the photo, the night sky is visible, with one short sentence below it. Sometimes a home is a person. No name. No location. There was no sign that it was directed at anyone. The ARMY knows. They noted a few minutes later, Jungkook uploaded a second story. A hand playing the piano. Tone seed. And captions. Only one small voice in the background. A sigh and a quiet sentence. It still feels just like old times. Is this a sign that Jungkook has read the whole letter? Is he finally ready to face all those memories? But before the speculation gets any wilder, the latest leaks from insiders reveal that Taehyung's letter contains not only a nostalgic message, but also a request, such a simple request, but very weighty. If one day I go further than you can follow, don't look for me. But if you can still forgive, open the little box in your kitchen cupboard. And this is where everything changes, because the next day, Jungkook actually opened the box. He uploaded a photo of the object inside, a small crescent-shaped pendant. The pendant that Taehyung once wore in a BTS photo shoot in 2018, but suddenly disappeared and was never worn again. It turns out the locket Jungkook